Chapter 38 The game is afoot. After arriving in the UK, Barnaby headed straight to Sollars Towers. It was the best place to stay during his investigation. He would have access to everything he needed: safe haven, manpower, connections, etc. First, though, he had to update Sebastian, future Sebastian that is, about his findings to date. After compiling the message, Sebastian deposited it in the drop box and awaited the response. The following 10 seconds are always a nervous time. He didn't really know why though. It was always 10 seconds. It didn't matter how long it took the person in the future to review the message and then determine and compile a response. It could have taken a year. It was never longer, ever shorter. As the seconds ticked by, he once more found himself reeling in the fabric of space-time. At 10 seconds the message appeared, on time, as always. Barnaby read the message. Sebastian agreed that following this lead was the best way forward. He did not yet realize how important it was, but it would soon become their only lead. Sitting with yet another cup of coffee, Barnaby asked himself what he would do. Where would he go in order to get information on Sebastian? It took a couple of seconds for the obvious penny to drop. He was already where he needed to be, Sollars Towers. Acting as head of operations when Sebastian was in town, as well as his place of residence. As with the North Africa base, Barnaby decided he must start with the video footage. He was convinced the two unknowns would be located in the video footage somewhere. Arriving at the security suite a few minutes later, Barnaby requested an office and the assistance of an operator from the shift manager, as well as a place they could work. "Where do you want to start, sir?" asked the operator. "Draw up a list of dates Mr. Sollars has been on site in the last 8 weeks, replied Barnaby. "Yes, sir, please give me a few moments." "Here you are," replied the operator as he turned and pointed at data on screen. It correlated with what Barnaby knew to be Sebastian's whereabouts during the period in question. "Please go to this date," asked Barnaby, pointing at the list on screen. Within a few seconds the video files loaded on screen. "Start at the beginning, put internal feeds on this bank of monitors and external feeds over here." Sitting back in a chair with yet another cup of coffee, Barnaby resigned himself to what was sure to be a long and boring exercise. Just as in Africa, the day-to-day existence of the towers played out in real time. "Faster, please," ordered Barnaby. "Yes, sir." Once again the characters on screen took on a comic style. Walking stiff-legged but at running pace, the minutes rolled by. The reflected light from the sun rotated about the room as morning turned to afternoon and afternoon into night. There was certainly nothing untoward happening inside the building. Barnaby watched as Sebastian arrived, traveling in the lift to his suite at the penthouse. It was the day of the phone call with Mustafa about the Greek dig site. Barnaby's intuition flickered. This must be it. How the two knew where to go. "Just give me the feeds from the roof looking at Mr. Sollars' suite." Barnaby watched Sebastian sit and drink from a bottle of beer. The phone rang and he answered it. Something clearly distracted him, and he ends the call before walking to his bedroom. No sooner than Sebastian had left the lounge room, Barnaby could see his first solid evidence. A person entered the room from the outdoor breakfast area and deftly dismantled the phone before reassembling it, equally as easily, and retreating back out of the room as Sebastian re-entered from the bedroom, picked up the phone and redialed the original caller. Barnaby froze the image and thought, they must have cloned the SIM, which was easily achievable. The question was how and from where did they get there? "Concentrate the feeds on this area of the building, please, as many as we have access to," ordered Barnaby as the operator rapidly reconfigured the screens and data feeds. "There are very few at this level, I am sorry, sir," admitted the operator. "No matter, give me what you have got, please." As Barnaby stared at the new feeds, he altered the image contrast and brightness to better see details that were hidden in the shadows. After a few minutes of intense staring, he could finally make out the window cleaning gondola. "Give me the window cleaner rotas, please," asked Barnaby. "Yes, sir, here they are," replied the operator. "From this I can see no one was supposed to be using the gondola," pondered Barnaby. "Yes, sir," replied the operator. There should have been no activity at that time of day. With new information, Barnaby changed tack to study the outside of the building, working backwards until he saw two familiar faces climbing into the gondola. Like a tiger stalking its prey, Barnaby hacked into traffic cams and CCTV networks to trace the route the troublesome pair took to reach the tower, and by deduction where they might call home. "Got ya!" exclaimed Barnaby, sitting back in his chair. "Now let's see what else you've been up to." Now they had some faces to trace. Barnaby asked the operator to run facial recognition on all video from that date stamp. A few minutes later he reported the boy's more recent entrance as repairman. "So you have been busy. Time I got the upper hand," Barnaby whispered to himself. Taking the address of their base, Barnaby left to return the secret of favor and see what he could learn from them, rather than the other way round.